Welcome back to BotCast. Not so fun fact. Every year, 30 lakh people die in the process of spraying insecticides and pesticides on their farms. In India alone, lakhs of people die because of the same reason. Today, our guest is Trivikram from X Machines. You may have seen them on Shark Tank already. They are building autonomous robots to handle seeding, deweeding, and spraying. Let's talk to Trivikram and learn more about their company and their products. Welcome to BotCast, Trivikram. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me here.
All right, thank you for joining us here. We'd love to learn more about what you're doing with X Machine. But let us start with something that is more personal to you. So, what's your favorite robot?
The one that we are building.
That's so obvious. Something that you're not building. From fiction even.
I can't recall anything.
All right. Okay, we'll come back to that one then.
Right.
So, help us with your journey. Where did it all start? How did you get into robotics? Have you always been a Hyderabadi?
Yeah, I'm born and brought up here. And I've always wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to always get into manufacturing kind of activity. But somehow the bug of robotics bit me while I was in my 10th, 11th kind of time frame. And that was the genesis of me turning up.
Was there any specific incident or event or trigger?
I was watching a robotics competition on Doordarshan when I was in 8th standard, 9th standard, something like that. That was the first time that I came across the aspect of robots and how cool it would be and things like that. So that was the start point.
Okay, cool. And did you participate in these competitions yourself?
No, because from what I knew, that was in IITs or some other international universities that was being telecasted there. I didn't have a clear roadmap of how to get there, but that bug bit me at that time.
Okay, and what's your educational background?
So I'm a mechatronics engineer by training because I knew I wanted to get into engineering, but mechatronics is a combination of mechanical, electronics and computer science, and that was the closest that I was towards anything automation related. So that's how I chose that particular major, and I finished my undergrad in that.
Cool. That sounds like a relatively unknown specialization. How many people were in your batch?
There were some 23 people.
Wow.
Okay, but I did it in Hong Kong.
Okay.
In a university called City University of Hong Kong.
Okay.
And I knew that eventually you will not be finding products which are just mechanical, just electronics. It's got to be a combination of all three, and that sounded very exciting for me, and I chose that.
And what brought you back from Hong Kong to India?
So fundamentally, I come from a farming family. While I was in my undergrad, I used to always come across these farmer suicides stories and articles, and somewhere I didn't like what I was looking at, because people around who are making smartphones, computers, really cool stuff, are enjoying very luxurious lives, whereas farmers who are building something which is without which the civilization would not exist.
Right.
But farmers are committing suicides. I felt something is off there, and I felt the education that I was getting should be used for something for the betterment of that particular segment. And that's how I started looking at farming as somewhere, if it could solve some problems there, maybe it would benefit people, and it would bring justice to the education that I was going through. And that is how I wanted to. I worked there for about, I lived and worked there for about 5 years, and I came back and started this particular journey of trying to bring some technology into farming.
Oh, cool. And so, tell us about your products. What are you building?
So what we are a company called X Machines. Okay, we are from a top angle, we are a robotics and AI company. Okay, but the inceptions are to create some really good products for farmers, specifically Indian farmers. So what we have realized early on was that our farms are really small and marginal. So that is less than 5 acres of land owning for over 80% of our farmers. And the equipment that is there in the market, be it tractors or any other equipment, are better suited for larger acreages. Okay?
Right.
So there is a large vacuum, and this vacuum used to be filled up by manpower historically.
Right.
Okay? But these days it's very hard to find people who will work in hot sun throughout the day for 200 rupees, 300 rupees kind of pay. Okay, so now farmers are in a state where there is no equipment, and historically where they've been getting help from the manpower is not willing to work in their fields anymore because it's extremely strenuous to do that. So now we felt for the land sizes that we have, we need to create some compact tools that would help farmers. Okay, and to complement manpower, what better tool than a robot? Okay, so that's how we started building small micro tractor kind of robots, which are multi-purpose in nature and would help farmers do most of the farming activities. So a tractor or cattle would just begin the plowing activity, and post that it will be our product. And by interchangeable attachments, you would be doing sowing, weed management, spraying, fertilizer application, and all of those things. And this is the top angle view. And another disturbing thing that I've come across during the inception phase of this company or this idea was that there is a lot of chemical utilization that happens in the food that we consume.
Right.
Okay, because nobody is looking at it, nobody is questioning it. People are making a lot of chemicals. They're selling, marketing very aggressively to farmers. Farmers are using it. Maybe there is a moderate increase in the productivity or the yield, but it is very harmful to the person who's applying it, to the soil, and us consumers. So we wanted, the reason why robot, why not something else, is because we want to, one, solve the labor shortage issue, and two, be in a position of bringing some level of intelligence into the field, which can minimize the amount of chemicals that are traditionally being used. So combination of this, a product helps farmer get their field jobs done on time, and number two, there is at a very minimal chemical utilization, which is good for everybody.
Right. So all of this sounds very romantic to me. We are a population of about 140 crores, and in every election, jobs is an issue for us, right? And yet we are saying there's not enough people in agriculture. So something doesn't add up to me. And point number two, and as you were saying earlier, a lot of these farmers are very small farmers, less than 5 acres, 80% or more of them. Right? And obviously a robot is definitely an expensive exercise, I'm assuming. We'll get into the details later. Now, given these two things, where we are over bloated with, unemployment, and second, we have farmers who cannot afford to invest a lot of money. What is the X factor that X Machines is bringing to address this?
So if you're looking from a AC room, we would feel that there is a lot of people willing to work everywhere. And India is a huge populous country, and you're supposed to find people. That is when we are sitting in very comfort environment. But when you actually step out and go into the actual ground, what happens is you'll need a couple of dozens of people on time to do a particular field job. Let's say if it has rain today, unless you sow your particular seed or sapling within that time period of 48 hours or 7 days, whatever it is, your yield won't be optimal. Okay, so now there is labor, but you'll have to really fight for them because the demand is higher than the supply there. Okay. And the second thing is you have a lot of urbanization that's happening, and there are much simpler jobs for people to find. You can become a Swiggy delivery person, you can become an Uber driver, you can come to city and become a plumber, etc., etc. Or you can join a factory and do some work there. So given these possibilities, now nobody is willing to work there in hot sun. Okay, and that is the fundamental thing. Yes, the numbers are there, but the number of people who is willing to work in this particular segment is rapidly declining. Okay, point number one. And number two, as I said, farm 5 acres of land or even a half acre of land for that matter needs a lot of work. Okay, so earlier what used to happen is it used to be a family run fields. Okay, father, mother, their parents, okay, and the kids, everybody used to do the field jobs in their particular whatever 1 hectare of land or whatever for.
Right.
Now everybody is into schools, everybody is into colleges. Now it is just one guy and not even the lady in most cases. So now you have to, even if it's a small field, you still need external help to get the task done.
Right.
Okay. So in this case, that is why our products are small, and our products are helping bridge this, whatever is the vacuum that is being created because of labor shortage.
So if I'm a farmer and if I want to buy an X Machines robot, what am I looking at spending?
Farmer, again, it's a huge market segment. Okay, let's say if you are looking at everything is a pyramid. Okay, you have very high paying, high net worth customers at the top, and you have not so much buying power at the bottom, if you break it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the majority falls in the bottom. Okay, we are not intending to directly sell the product to customers.
Okay.
We want to sell this product to rural micro entrepreneurs
Okay.
who are unemployed.
Right. Okay.
With the help of a financing option.
Okay.
And they are the ones that would rent this product to their neighborhood farmers.
Okay.
So farmer is actually not investing in the product directly, which is expensive for majority of them.
Right.
Of course, there are high net worth farmers, there are enterprises, there are people who are growing commercial crops like grape, like chili, who
Right.
can absolutely afford the product. But predominantly want to sell this to rural micro entrepreneurs with a financing option, and they are the ones that would rent this product to farmers.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That gets me thinking. So, robotics by itself is no easy task, right? There's a lot of R&D that goes in. There's a lot of investment that goes in. So you'll have to spend significant amount of your energy there, and then you'll have to do all of this business model innovation, and then you'll have to convince farmers that the machines actually won't destroy your crop. They'll actually help you and all of this. What kind of challenges do you face? I mean, there must be millions, but what are your top 3 challenges?
See, surprisingly, there was no challenge from the market. Okay.
Okay.
Because the customers, by the time we actually pitched this idea to people, they were all in. Because
As in the farmers?
yes, it is our usual assumption that farmers are averse to advanced technology. They're not going to adopt anything new unless blah blah blah. Okay. But it's exactly the opposite. They're extremely smart people. They're extremely very in sync with nature, and all they want is their problem to be solved. They don't care whether it's a high-tech thing or a low-tech thing.
Okay.
So there was literally no challenge from the customer side.
Okay.
They're all in. They were all in right from the beginning.
Awesome.
But in terms of building the product, okay, for us there were 2 routes. One, easier one, imports some components, assemble it over here, and then give it out to customers. And the second thing is, in the earlier case, what happens is, let's say if you're importing certain components, the quality, the consistency, and the timelines for spares availability is not going to be consistent. Okay. Whereas our customer, he's in a very time-dependent, climate-dependent operation. Okay. So what we had to do, we had to choose the harder route.
Okay.
Scout everything from within the country, source everything from within the country. Even if it was not of really good quality, we had to work with the vendors, the suppliers, to really bring it up to the level and precision that a robot would require.
Okay.
And we had to do a lot of work in terms of sourcing and vendor development right from early on, so that we'll be able to be in a position of offering on-time after-sale support to customers. So, as you know, we're not a very hardware-oriented culture.
Yeah.
Okay. At least till the past couple of years. Okay. We're very good in software,
Yeah.
IT services, but hardware, it's a pain.
Yeah.
Okay. So the lead times were very long.
Right.
Okay. The number of cycles we had to iterate in building something was very long, and we took our sweet time to bring the product into the market.
And how long was that?
So we've been in R&D since 2017, and we started selling the product in late 2022. So it was good 5 years of R&D that went in. Of course, there was COVID and the after effects of COVID for the next 1.5 years.
But how would that impact your R&D?
Because ours is a hardware-centric thing. If we can't buy, if we can't get the unit fabricated by that particular vendor,
Got it.
you'll have to wait.
Got it. And what forms do your robots?
It is a simple form. It's a one single platform, which is a wheeled platform. You may call it UGVs, Unmanned Ground Vehicle category. Okay. And on top of that, we have different add-ons or accessories that you can latch onto the system for different activity. Let's say you want to mow some lawn, you can put a mowing attachment. If you want to sow some seeds, you put a sewing attachment.
Okay.
If you want to do some spray, you mount another attachment. That's how it works.
Got it, got it. Evidently, development was your biggest challenge so far, right? And how is it today? Is the ecosystem any better?
Certainly, it's better.
Okay.
For
awesome.
sure.
Okay, great, great, great. And today, what percentage of the components are imported versus made in India?
Anything and everything that is manufactured locally is sourced locally. Anything and everything that is not manufactured within the country, we have to import. I would say 20% is what we import now. 80% is locally done.
That is great. 20% is quite less.
Yeah.
That's cool. And let's talk about what goes into your robot. So what are the component parts? What does it take to build a robot?
So you have, you can break it into two aspects. One is the hardware aspect and the second is the software. Software, you have autonomous navigation systems, firmware to run the product, okay, and more higher level of software for other applications, okay. And coming to the hardware side of things, you'll have the drivetrain, you have the batteries, you have computers to run everything, you have sensors. Yeah, that is pretty much about it.
All right. And you've said it's taken about 5 years for you. Which part of the development took the longest?
Our robot platform was developed in 15 months.
Which is the chassis or the...
No, the entire base board was done in 15 months.
Including the software?
Yes.
Okay.
But post that, it is about getting it to manufacturability by gelling well with the supply chain.
So the so-called production hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, and also for us, it's not just the platform itself. There are also a bunch of other attachments, because just the robot by itself is just exaggerated remote control stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But it is the tools that have to go and interface with the soil, that have to deal with all the dust, debris, and all of those things. That is where most of the R&D went.
Right.
Okay. Because, and also agri is a very seasonal thing.
Right.
Okay. If you have to test any sowing activity, then you can only do it in that rainfall area. Anything, any test, any development that you do outside of that is not directly relevant to this.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And did you hit the market already?
Yes. I mean, we are currently soft launching the product.
Okay.
But we've already exported the product.
Wow.
We've shipped our products to Bosnia, to Spain, to Australia.
Okay.
We are in talks with a couple of European customers.
Okay.
At this point of time. The thing is, because this product is designed for farmers, okay, who are going to pay for it with their hard-earned money.
Right.
We don't want to release a half-baked product.
Okay.
We want to extensively test it, and when all the bugs have been resolved, that is the only point we want to launch the product.
And how are you testing it?
We give it out to customers.
Customers in India as well?
In India.
Okay, okay, okay. And do you have any specific testing frameworks that you look at? Do you have any
Nothing in particular
rigs set up around your labs or offices somewhere?
No, everything is on the ground.
Okay.
From the lens of the customer.
Okay.
It's not from the lens of the engineer.
Okay.
Per se. So that is how we operate.
And typically when it comes to farming, you know, different topographies, different geographies, different types of soil, different weather conditions. How do you test for all of these? Do you really go to every setting on the ground?
See, you choose the most hardest thing.
Okay.
And you do as much testing as possible on that.
Okay.
And you build the product to sustain that the hardest of scenarios. And by default, it should be working well in much lesser challenging terrains or soil types and things like that.
What's the most challenging terrain for you?
It's black cotton.
Black and cotton.
Black cotton soils.
Right, right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, awesome. And again, you said you spent about 5 years just doing R&D. Even today, you're doing a soft launch with a few foreign customers. That's all right. But I'm assuming that means you spent a lot of personal money into this as well, and time as well. How's life been on the family side?
See, one thing is, it's a obsession for me and my team to make this into a reality. Okay, and in the next 10-15 years, you'll see a robot in every field.
Right.
And we hope the significant majority is ours.
Amazing.
Okay.
Cheers to that, man.
And for that to happen, it needs a lot of involvement or capital. Okay. In many cases, capital by itself won't really help. You'll definitely have a large team.
Right.
You'll definitely burn a lot of cash, but that doesn't necessarily translate into a product being developed really well. Okay. So we had to put in that time and effort. Okay. Because of our obsession, we never felt we are spending time or we are anything like that. There was no negative thoughts. Okay.
Right.
And for startups, as you may be aware, that it's low, and suddenly a huge high,
Spike.
and then again a low. So we do things to feel that high.
Did you get your spike yet?
It happens every couple of days.
The emotional roller coaster. I know that. So, how big is your team now?
We're about 33 people at this point.
Okay.
We were 3 people till October.
Okay.
Coming to the investment part, we are a company funded by IIIT of Hyderabad, Indian School of Business Hyderabad.
Right.
BITS Goa has put in some money. Very recently, Coromandel Fertilizer, which is a subsidiary of Murugappa Group, has invested a decent chunk of money in our company.
Right.
And after that, we've been on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
We had Ritesh and Namita Thapar
Right.
give us a deal on the show. We've just received the agreements for it yesterday.
Okay.
All the due diligence and everything has been done. It's going to happen.
Oh, congratulations. Thanks. So, on that note,
Thank you.
how's the Shark Tank experience been?
Shark Tank, it was a mixed thing. The reason being, we've had a couple of videos already done in Telugu language
Okay.
prior to going there, which had decent amount of traction. We had some almost 3.5 million views.
Who were these videos by or with?
They were agri channels.
Okay.
They were Inadu, ETV channel, etc.
Okay.
And farmers were liking what we are doing.
Okay.
Now, by being on Shark Tank, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, we don't know how the reaction from there is going to be, which is going to reflect a little bit on the
brand
public.
side.
From the public's perspective also.
Yeah.
The kind of lens that they applied there
Correct.
would be the ones with which the entire northern belt is going to look at our company through.
Right.
Okay. So that was, we didn't want to get anything much, but main thing was we didn't want to lose the customer base that we've had already built in Telugu speaking states. Okay.
And how many customers did Shark Tank give you?
So quite a few, some of them international,
Okay.
especially NRIs who were overseas. But the thing is, our product is such that you can't directly buy it off the internet. Okay.
Right.
Customer has to see the product, they have to feel the product, they have to ensure that it is working in their particular field, etc. For their crop, for their soil, in their environmental conditions, and so many things. So that gave us a good visibility in the northern speaking belt and further the NRI kind of folk overseas, which will be translated into actual revenues starting now.
Awesome. And I remember this comment on Shark Tank where they were comparing X machines to X and Elon Musk to Trivikram. So that brings me back to your comment. So this is not something that you can buy off the internet, but I can buy a Tesla online.
Yeah, see, Tesla is a 24 years old company or 20 years old company.
Sure.
We are as far as the market is concerned, we are a 1-year-old company.
Okay.
And car is something that you've seen your entire life.
Right.
Okay. The only thing is, of course, it's electric, but car is not a new category as such.
Right.
But our product is entirely new category.
Right.
So and we are still very new to the market.
Right.
So there will have to be a lot of demonstrations that we'll have to do, a lot of validation from peers to other farmers to happen.
Word of mouth.
For the product to really, for this category to get really established.
Got it. And you were also talking about micro entrepreneurs at the village level who would be owning these machines and leasing them out. How do they play a role in helping you market your product to the farmers, etc.?
See, we're not thinking of them as any kind of marketing channel.
Okay.
Okay. For us, they are another customer. We are the manufacturer of the product.
Okay.
They'll be the ones who's buying it.
Okay.
To cater to a service where they get to employ themselves.
Right.
And number two, they're going to solve a problem.
Okay.
So it's kind of an electric worker on demand
Right.
to the customer whenever there is need.
Okay. So in this case, then your primary customer would be the self-employed or the entrepreneur rather than the farmer.
So again, this is where it gets tricky. So there are all categories of customers. Okay, it could be a software professional, okay, from Google, who owns his family farms, or he has invested in a piece of land somewhere, let's say a mango orchard.
Right.
They will be our customers.
Right.
Okay, if it's a celebrity who owns farmhouses, they
Right.
could be our customers.
Right.
It could be an enterprise,
Right.
Enterprise customer. It could be an farmer producer organization, which is a group of farmers,
Got it.
and the micro entrepreneurs.
What are you most excited about next?
We want to make this a reality, and what we aspire to be in the long term is to kind of be like Sony.
Okay.
Whenever you think of a really amazing consumer electronics products, Sony.
Right.
Okay, and whenever all across the world, if it's a really amazing robot, it could also be a consumer robot in the future. It should be from X Machines.
Got it. And where in that journey are you? How far do you think you've come along?
We are still very early, but we can see the goal being very achievable.
Okay. Do you have any specific target areas that you are looking at besides agriculture, or is it everything in agriculture?
Absolutely. So just to clarify a little bit, the reason why we are calling ourselves X Machines, X is a variable in maths, in
Right.
mathematics. You can plug it with anything.
Right.
Just the same way, our products can also be multiple applications.
Okay.
It can be an agri machine, it can be a warehouse automation machine, it can be a domestic house cleaning machine, it can be a cooking machine,
Right.
anything.
Right.
So we started off and we feel very deeply for the agri sector, but we are already diversifying into other use cases. We use the same product for vegetation management in solar farms. So in solar farms, the panels are very close to the ground. There is
Right.
a lot of vegetation growth beneath it.
Right.
If it's left unchecked, they overlap and reduce the yield of that particular panel. So you need a tool to trim all of the overgrown grass beneath the panels. We do that. And you have manufacturing facilities and warehouses where you need to do autonomous material movement 24/7.
Right.
So that is where also we are deploying our products. And we ship our products to companies like Caterpillar for their own R&D activity. So agri is what we really feel for and the reason why we started. But we're also diversifying a little bit into other things. And eventually, let's say 5 years down the line, we'll also be in the home.
Talk to me more about the Caterpillar thing. Are they reverse engineering you, or?
We hope
What are
they're
they
not reverse engineering because they keep buying from us.
Okay.
Okay, and I believe it can translate into long-term engagement.
Okay. And how much of the product that you have, in terms of hardware, do you manufacture by yourself versus get it from vendors?
See, we don't manufacture anything in-house.
Okay.
We design everything, engineer everything,
Right.
and then we break the product into multiple chunks,
Okay.
give it off to several vendors. Again, we get all the components back and do it, because at the volumes that we are at, to really get into in-house manufacturing of every little component, it's not practical.
Right. So your factory today, I would assume, looks like an assembly line?
It's predominantly an assembly line.
Okay. And what is your dream in terms of, that side, manufacturing? Do you ever look at yourself getting into manufacturing as well, or what's the idea there?
Absolutely. I mean, I personally like anything to do with manufacturing. But having said that, now that we are doing it, I know it is a pain, huge pain, okay? But to achieve your goal, you have to do, let's say you have one goal. To achieve it, you'll have to do 1,000 things that you don't like,
Right.
okay? And that's part of life, we'll do it anyway.
Right. And how many units do you see yourself selling in India over the next couple of years or so?
This is a product line that can easily be scaled to about 17 lakh units per year.
Per year?
Per year.
Wow. And when is your next investment round happening?
It's ongoing now.
So, anyone that is interested in investing in X machines, we'll give you the coordinates of Trivikram. It's obviously an exciting opportunity and something that you should all look at. And so, Trivikram, do you have any co-founders?
I'm the solo founder of the company,
Okay.
but I have two other core team members who joined very early on into the company.
Okay.
One is Vinil Reddy and another is Dharmateja.
Okay.
So Dharmateja, he's the one who looks after the entire design of the product line that we have, and Vinil is the technology brain behind everything that we do. And Dharmateja hails from a farming family.
Okay.
His father grows tobacco
Okay.
in Andhra,
Okay.
and he understands a lot of know-how on how farmers think, their psyche, their actual ground level problems.
Right.
He's been living that all his life.
Right.
So he's our one core team member, and the
Right.
next one is Vinil Reddy.
Okay.
He's a technology person at heart, hardcore tech person. In
Right.
fact, he's joined us even before he finished his engineering.
Wow.
Third year, he kept on knocking on the door till we let him in, and he's our CTO now.
Wow. And that brings me back to my next question, which is essentially availability of talent pool. So how easy or how hard has it been to attract talent? Because one, robotics is still very new in our segment of the world. And second, you're a startup, so there's some sort of aversion still in our area of the world. So what have your challenges, or have you even faced a challenge hiring?
See, there is definitely a problem in terms of hiring talent quickly. You can always find talent, but it's about what is the lead time that you're having to deal with, and how much effort are you having to put in to find people. Because hiring in general, building a team in general is hard, regardless of how much money you want to pump into it.
Right.
Okay. So that is not a deciding factor. But having said that, because the industry is quite new, definitely there is a dearth of skillful people in this particular segment for some key elements of our engineering departments.
Right.
So those are the areas where we have to really scout, really dig through and find people.
And for a youngster and young engineering graduate, or even someone outside the engineering stream, if they are interested in getting into robotics, perhaps even into X machines, what is a path that you can suggest to them?
Go to YouTube, start doing stuff.
Okay.
The components today to tinker with anything, they're not expensive. You can get it in 200 rupees, 300 rupees, 500 rupees, whatever it is. It's just your pocket money. You invest in it, you tinker with it, and you have computer or a phone everywhere. Okay. Start doing something with your hands early on.
Right.
Okay. Don't entirely depend on college. Okay.
That's a bold statement.
That's why I was conscious there. Not entirely.
No, we want this to be out in the open, right? Obviously we are building an ecosystem,
Yes.
and we are building companies
Yes.
for the betterment of the entire country.
Yes.
So we need to be having these discussions
Yes.
openly. Yeah. And what would you advise colleges or professors or lecturers? What would you advise them towards helping them nurture their kids towards robotics?
Invest a little bit more, because we have products that engineering colleges within Telangana can buy. We have educational discounts, and with that, just put it in your lab. Okay, let your students tinker with it. Okay, as long as you don't do that, everything will be very theoretical.
Do you even go to colleges to hire?
I do.
And which one's your favorite college in terms of their robotics infrastructure, their talent, etc.?
I don't want to reveal that.
Trade secret? Okay,
Yes.
that's all right.
Because there is a lot of dearth of talent there. I don't want to reveal it there.
All right, so we will work with Trivikram. If you are running colleges or universities, we'll work with him. We'll bring him to your college. We'll try and set up an infrastructure for you. We'll get your kids ready for robotics as well. Yeah. All right, and finally, what gets you out of your bed every morning?
It's that dream of seeing this robot in every Indian field. We're not going to stop till that happens.
All right, best wishes, Trivikram. Obviously, you're building in a very exciting space, and best wishes for your journey. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And any final parting thoughts? Floor is yours.
Nothing. Thank you for watching all of it. And robotics or any new technology is extremely powerful in solving any problems that we are seeing on a day-to-day basis. And learn new technology with the lens, with the purpose of trying to solve some problems for people, for yourself. And that is the best way to get started with and to do anything with robotics.
All right. Thank you, Trivikram. Thank you to all of you for watching this. BotCast is an initiative to bring out the entrepreneurs building in robotics, to create a platform for them. And if you're interested in robotics, do follow us. There's lots more coming up. Very, very interesting people, very, very interesting companies and products like Trivikram, X Machines, etc. And do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.